this.
Greetings, fellow mortals. Just a reminder, saying it's just my opinion is for cowards. Everyone on the internet is perpetually mad anyway. Such a weak shield doesn't help anyone. I'd rather stand by what I say. Now, if you followed my channel for any bit of time, you would know that I'm a little bit of a One Piece fan. One might even say that I'm a bit of a simp for Oda just because of what he has achieved. Consistently coming out with this cohesive world for almost 30 years is insane, especially if you know how hard his profession is and what his health problems have been. He is someone that I aspire to be like. He's someone that I respect, especially for his ability to outright shatter my expectations many different times. Now, this isn't to say that his work is flawless. If we don't accept that there are problems, we'll never make new fans out of anyone. Yes, some of the character designs are odd. Yes, the women are unbelievably proportioned. Yes, Oda does recycle a few inciting incidents with the plot, but those are easy things to accept or outright ignore. His achievements in almost every aspect of storytelling is incredible. That is why I'm a fan. No creator is flawless, not even William Shakespeare. But if we let the minor details get in the way of the greatness, we'll never enjoy any piece of entertainment ever.
You're always correcting people.
That's absolutely right.
One Piece's overarching narrative is phenomenal, and nothing has demonstrated that more than Gear 5. If you don't know and clicked on this video for some reason, Luffy has the abilities of a devil fruit, the Guma Guma no Mi, which gives him the ability of a rubber man at the expense of never being able to swim, which might be a problem considering that he's a pirate that sails the high seas. For the longest time, Oda has had a fun time being creative with Luffy's abilities. Compared to many of the other powers of devil fruits in this world, being made of rubber isn't all that spectacular, compared to becoming a phoenix or creating earthquakes with a punch at least. But the creativity around the rubber powers is what made it interesting. Luffy always used his abilities in ways that I did not expect, all the way up to his transformations, his gears. Gear 2 is him overexerting his body in a way that only a rubber man can handle. Gear 3 involves him using air to increase his mass and power. Gear 4 is when Luffy combines those aspects and adds Haki into the mix. But Gear 5 was when Oda turned everything around on its head. Every fan knew that the next transformation was coming, but no one was close to guessing what it would be. That is an aspect of Oda that is astonishing. He surprises everyone. How many creators can do that on a regular basis for 30 years?
Impressive. Very nice.
For me, the premise of Gear 5 answers a question that I have been pondering since childhood. It involves the entire setup of the whole series. Why did Shanks, one of the most powerful people in the whole world, bother to carry around a rubber fruit? I assume that he simply found it and carried it around for fun, but it never seemed to fit knowing his character. Gear 5 answered that question by outright changing what the fruit actually was. Instead of making Luffy a rubber man, it made him into a mythical being called Nika, the sun god. Nika has the abilities of rubber, but so much more. With this transformation, Luffy has complete control over his powers to the point that he cannot be hurt, and he can turn other things into rubber as well. One of the seemingly most mundane fruits became the strongest because of the work that Luffy put into mastering it. It brought everything full circle from the start. I honestly believe that it's one of the reasons that the transformation became so popular. It's a plot point decades in the making, a carefully hidden secret with just enough foreshadowing to make perfect sense. I remember when I first read the chapter with Gear 5, it caused me to pause and think for several minutes as I contemplated what Oda had done. I'm pretty good at predicting events and stories if they make sense, but this one caught me completely off guard. I was blown away. Okay, now time for the hard part. As a fan, I will readily admit that other fans have gone way too far with this. While I love everything about Gear 5, I roll my eyes when they say it's more iconic than a Super Saiyan. Shut up. No, it's not. There won't be several generations of young boys screaming, clenching their fists, and trying to turn into a Super Saiyan. Dragon Ball is so iconic that it cannot be topped. It came first, it popularized the idea of transformations. You're never going to top it. I will say that Gear 5 probably beats all other Dragon Ball transformations in terms of hype, but that's about it, because Oda was not trying to outdo Super Saiyans. Besides the storytelling aspect of Gear 5, the most impressive thing about that transformation is how creative and deconstructive it is to its own form of entertainment. Oda wanted to change Luffy's fights on a fundamental level. Instead of Luffy simply being stronger, he made Luffy change the rules of power and strength altogether. Luffy literally gained the abilities of a hero in an old Looney Tunes cartoon, becoming completely indestructible and making a joke of other people's strength. He changed the world around him to even the playing field. He laughs the whole time in that transformation because he has become as unstoppable as Bugs Bunny.
Latino. Of course you realize this means war.
It's an odd turnaround. I could sit here all day and name a bunch of Western cartoons that have been influenced by anime, but I would have a lot harder time listing the reverse, with the only exception I can think of off the top of my head being Yu-Gi-Oh! Taking inspiration from the same form of entertainment but from a different culture was a twist I did not expect from One Piece, but it does make sense. In many ways, One Piece has been the most cartoony of all of its contemporaries. Just look at some of the character designs, and just like that, Oda turned a supposed weakness into a strength and style choice. It's amazing how he does things like that. His spreadsheet for this type of stuff must be insane. And finally, I think one of the most brilliant things about Gear 5 is that it perfectly represents who Luffy is as a person. The one thing that I always remember about Monkey D. Luffy is during his fight with Crocodile, where he said that he is always serious. I think that stuck with me the most out of anything that Luffy's done. He's goofy and stupid because he does actually take life very seriously. He wants to enjoy his time alive. Just because someone is happy and goofs around with his friends doesn't mean that he's not serious. Perhaps it means he's the most serious person there is because he's trying to make the most out of every moment.
Really makes you think.
Gear 5 allows Luffy to physically manifest his will in the physical world. For the most part, Luffy is a pretty static character. He hasn't changed a whole lot in terms of personality and beliefs. He changes the world, not the other way around. Usually that comes with the ability to make allies out of nowhere and change people's perspectives. But with Gear 5, his ability allows him to do this during fights as well. His limits are his imagination. Possibly all forms of strength can be neutralized by his creativity, except maybe Shanks. That might be where a battle of hockey would come into play. But I could see Shanks laughing at Luffy's antics in battle at least. It's not like they're bitter enemies. All of this isn't to say that this is the end-all be-all. As I said, fans have gone way too far with the hype with Gear 5. It does not neutralize all other stories in anime. In fact, copying these types of abilities into other tales would probably fail. It's specifically crafted for this world and this character. Plus, Goku would still win in a fight. People have been arguing non-stop over this theoretical fight, but we are at the point in the Dragon Ball Super manga where Goku would defeat almost any other character in fiction, even Superman at this point. It doesn't help that the power level just keeps shattering every single arc, so it is to be expected.
It's over 9,000!
Remember this? This is quaint now in comparison. Many things can be true at once. Gear 5 is a fantastic transformation and piece of storytelling. Also, some of the fans have gone way too nuts over it. People fight on the internet all the time over stupid things, so who really cares? It's fun and interesting, and it's just great. It's a crowning moment for Oda, and the hype around it caught the interest of new and lapsed fans. That is a great thing in my book. But it does have me worried about live action One Piece though. I am sorry, but there is a terrible track record on Netflix with this stuff. Oda is involved, but we all know how Western creators ignore the Japanese. Will it work out with the cartoony effects? Will it convey the story properly? Will the characters not be butchered? Will this thing even get a season 2? We will see. It seems to be coming out in August. If I were you, I would expect more videos on this on a later date. Meanwhile, I'll be here wondering how Gear 5 would even be possible in live action without a CGI fest.
What the hell is this?
Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and to continue the discussion in the comment section. And please consider giving my books Above Heaven, Dance of Frozen Death, and Vows of Blood and Honor, which will be released in September, a chance. I appreciate you. Do not despair.